Hello everyone, I'm cutting back in here, start a new episode, and man, a lot has happened. I'm on the Chinese exchange, and I'm noticing this little move up forward. Um, I've I do trade on I don't even know how to pronounce it, but this Chinese exchange here, and I did put a limit order here, and then it did hit and it bounced up here, and I sold it immediately as it reached back up here to this on this fib line. Um, Mainly because my strategy is to go long and then short. I don't know how to say it. Long shorts, I guess. The point is I'm trying to gain some um, virtual fiat currency in order to kind of buy in at a right time. And this is an example like during this time I wouldn't normally trade, but I'm trading on some short term and I'm waiting for moves like this. I see this on the Chinese exchange before I saw it on Bitfinex here. This is let me see here if y'all can see that. Oh, this is Bitfinex, and you see the price is starting to move up a little higher. I saw it on the Chinese exchange before I saw it here. Started moving. Um, I'm already position long, so there's no need for me to do anything right now. I did get some trades on a peer-to-peer level, so I'm always trading, and I'm always, whatever I trade on peer-to-peer, a portion of that I keep in Bitcoin, and the rest I keep in. Well, obviously I'm trading for money on that. So whenever I buy Bitcoin for my miner again, um, I'll be buying back into Bitcoin. So, anyways, as it's starting to break up a little bit. I'm not sure what the cause is per se, but we're starting to see some action now. And this is only on a 1 hour, and this is the current price. See, it's moving, so you know it's live. And that's kind of what's going on with it now. I'm gonna wait until it actually moves on this on the Bitfinex chart that I have here. The fib lines are much larger. So what I'm gonna do is I already made an order here that moved up and then came down. So I bought in at 333 and then moved up at whatever 340 and then came down. And my next move was, okay, it has to move up higher than this fib line, and it's at a lower price now. Um, I might do something here, or I might just go ahead and just wait, one or the other. I'm not sure how I feel, but definitely one thing for sure is it has to move here. Now the price is lower, so it is tempting. It looks like it did stop, and this is also a trend line here, which it stopped right before it. So this could be a move advancing. We'll just have to see. And the reason why I use the Chinese exchange here, I'm charting. This is a little bit different. Reacts a little bit differently, but this is I guess I could pull back a little bit further to get a better idea. Uh, this is on the Chinese exchange 1 hour. Basically, what I'm doing is measuring from here to here. That's what I'm doing, and then this is how I got my fib lines on here. And then I noticed that there's a trend. Same thing with this trend. It just goes sideways for a long time, so I put that in there. And then I connected these two right here to the most recent here to see if it would do something, and kind of looks like it did try to do something. There you can see the rest of the you can see the rest of it. It's from down here to here is my fib line. Computer's slow today. And so anyway, all right. Looks like it's taking a while. Anyway, let me just pull this over so you can see a little bit better what I'm trying to do, and that's so on this one. I'm really looking for well, there's two things here. There's this longer, there you go, this longer period right here, and which I think is going to hit up here and maybe stop at this fib line. If it does break above it, I want confirmation, so I'm going to wait for it to break above, settle, and stay above this fib line. Once it does this on the Chinese exchange here, on Huobi on a 1 hour, I'll go ahead and basically go ahead and try to get some more coins, I guess, or trade more, just buy in and try to see if it stays above here and it's breaking out. That, let's see how long it goes until maybe up to here, and maybe there'll be a sell-off. The gap from here to here is much larger from here to here, if you notice that, slightly larger. If it can move up here, then it can head back up here to this high, and the gap from here to here is the biggest. Usually from the, well, going up or going down, the ends are usually the biggest on the fib lines. So, and let me go back to the Bitfinex exchange here. And there you go. So there's a Bitfinex exchange, and you can see it's moving, and I'm waiting for the same kind of results. I've zoomed in a little bit more, and so I'm just waiting, and I'm not going to do anything until it actually reaches here and goes above. Like again, already long, so that's going on. That's what's going on with the price right now. I'm still kind of continuing with the trade. I'm doing long shorts. I'm buying in at a particular time, like when this breaks out, and seeing if it goes up. And then when it goes up, already have my limits there, or it moves so fast sometimes it's already, you should already be selling. So anyways, I'm doing a little bit of that just to again take a little risk and gain some fiat currency, just so I could buy back in later to get more Bitcoins, basically free Bitcoins in a way, you know, because I'm buying with gain money, so I'm getting free Bitcoins. Other than that, I mean, I'm going to wait until it reaches here. There's an opportunity to sell here, but I'm actually going to wait until it goes above this price, and then from there it's already kind of showing a breakout, and let it climb up to hit this price, and I think it's going to gradually just range up and down on the Bitfinex chart anyways. If I can, there we go. Here's a larger version of what I'm doing. So as you can see, it's if it'll break up here, then it'll go up, and ultimately I think it'll range between where it's been going and where it fell. So where it stopped and where it fell, I think those are the range until we can get a better signal. I wouldn't say it's anything bullish like I was before during this time period. A little bit more cautious, but eventually I do believe the price will kind of creep up. So anyways, that's that. I guess a little bit in this section here, I did want to talk about some crazy ideas I had. Oh, maybe I'll get into it a little bit later. But anyways, that's, I guess, what I have right now. Today's Monday, so let me cut out from here and let me see how this plays out. I guess I can get to some of my crazy ideas of other ways you can use Bitcoin when I come back in later. So anyways, there it is. So let me cut out and I'll cut back in and see if there's any other movement in price. Hey everyone, I'm cutting back in, and since last I left, I made that line, and here's the trend line. I'm actually zoomed in a little bit closer, and I just to let you know what I did here. I gotta be so careful around here. All right, I'll take that out. There you go. So that's what you've been seeing so far. Let me see if I can get there we go. That's what you've been seeing so far, and I'm still waiting. It did break down, and this is a line from the 500, and I just put it right here and just waited. It looks like it reacted to it right here. This was a surprise. I thought it was going to go sideways for a while, but um, for whatever reason it picked up. But it's going back down. It's almost seeming to be like following something else. I'm still going to wait for it to go. Let me see here. This parallel line, this is a fib line to 343.32. I'm still waiting for it to go above that. And so I'm wondering why is it wiggling here. And so there's fib lines within fib lines. So I'm going to make a fib line from this high to, let me see which one. I guess any one of these lows. I'm not sure which one's lower. Let's just say this one. So there you go. That's where I got my lines. And then if you look now, you'll see that it just stopped here and it's playing around in here. So in that sense, I guess it does make sense. There's fib lines within fib lines. So just want to share that with you. And the current price right now is 330, 331, 325, and 329 respectively. So anyways, I didn't quite get a chance to make a play on that, but it doesn't matter because I'm already long Bitcoin, so having that price go back up kind of helped. I just want to know how I can play this move now. So I'll think about it, but I might put in some limit buys around these prices right here. As you can see, there's only a $5 difference between this and that. So I could probably play around with a 0.1 Bitcoin here and here, and just see what happens, because it's already that I put it back to 322, somewhere around there. 322 if it goes below that. So maybe put some right there too. So those are kind of spots I like to put. 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2. Not sure if I would put one here, but I guess a smaller position or larger position, how aggressive you want to get to it. So anyways, let me cut out, and when I cut back in, I'll maybe tell that idea that I had or some crazy theories. So let me cut out and cut back in. Hello everyone, I'm cutting back in, and I think I left off last time right there. I drew a line from here to this end point, and it kind of crossed over. Not too sure if it was going to break up, but eventually it did break up right here. And of course, this is a longer term fib line here. Let me go back to the 12-hour and see if I could do anything here. Alright, so again, here's my longer fib line from here to this focal point, or pivot point for me, and then I draw lines from here to this recent, where you see this line, and then a longer term from this line to that same pivot point, going down a little bit underneath. And so on an hourly, it kind of looks something like this. And let me put in some lines here, because I notice they tend to. So last time I had my lines right in here, right about here, and you can see it finally decided to break out of that line. Instead of breaking down as many times as you put lines in here, they all eventually just broke down. This did break up, but as you see the fib line here, many times have I indicated that it really needs to go above this fib line in order for reach the next fib line, or to advance upwards. and so I did not take any positions because I'm already long, and so there's no reason for me to. Well, I guess you can always take a longer position, but um, I'm okay where I am. I just need some confirmation before I add on more to my position here. And so, a lot of things are going on. And also, when I look at the RSI, if you look at the RSI here, you'll see that um, it's you can see even though this is so little in movement, it's above that 70 mark, which really drives that momentum upwards, as you see here. And then same thing going down, as it's further down in the RSI, right around here, you'll see the movement go down. But now that it's kind of leveled out in this range, you'll see that it hit 70 right around here somewhere, and it's not a dramatic move, and it goes down almost to 30 right here, but it's not a lower low, and you're pushing back up to 70 again. So there could be some momentum pushing this up forward a little bit. And let me zoom in a little bit. Well, let me make my new line. That's the whole purpose of doing this. So there we go. There's my new line here, which is very similar to well, basically what I've been doing. So this is what this looks like before I put in the smaller fib lines in here. Let's see if I can get this a little closer here. Anyways, excuse me. As you can see, this is the fib line that's just been really resistive, and you can see that, but you can see it's really pushing higher every time it does that. I think there's some pressure because there's this trend line kind of forcing it up, as you can see. And so let me put in some other fib lines within the fib lines. Let me see here, so you can, there we go, better, there you go. And so there's the major line right here, as you can see, and these are other fib lines here, and you can see how they react. They're reacting to this major fib line right here that's been going across, and now it's going under. And I think at some point where this line is going to pretty much meet with, let me just drag this out a little bit further. Alright, and so let me move the crosshairs out of the way. So now I drew another line here after it burst up and came down, and it did react to that line as well. As it just kept pushing until it broke out. And then if you drew another line, you can see it's another kind of a false breakout. But now that we know there's some resistance here, I'm going to go ahead and draw my line out here. And so I'm going to wait. Again, I'm not going to take any more positions. Maybe if I want to take a little bit of risk, I could take a little long position maybe right now, hoping that it would touch up again. But really what I want to do is, because I've seen it so many times, hit this fib line and pull back down. I'm actually going to wait until it actually, I'm still going to do my normal thing where I put on a line and see if it breaks, but I'm really still waiting for this to move above this 243.75 now, whatever it is. I keep redrawing because every time I come back, I have to redraw the lines and everything. But in any case, I'm going to wait for it to finish above this line, maybe even hit above this fib line right here, which the smaller fib line here. Anyways, just going to wait for that confirmation before I take any long positions here. And then also on the Chinese exchange, as you can see, it's a slightly different story, but I just kind of comparing Bitfinex. I'm sorry about that. The last chart here. This is a Bitfinex 1 hour, and you can see there's a chart. It's going live, and then this one is the Chinese exchange. And the reason I'm comparing these two is because they just tend to well, they're all, well, actually Hobu's a little bit lower in price. So, and if you arbitrage during when it was higher in price, you're probably in a really good position to use Hobu now. Amazing how that worked out. You see Bitstamp now comparing really par to it, but at one point Hobu and Bitfinex were side by side, step by step, the same price, and Bitstamp was actually lower. So that's why I'm looking at Hobu, or whatever the Chinese exchange name for that place. Anyways, let me, I guess I can, here, let me see, I can show you what I've done. Alright, so basically I did the same thing, put in the line on the top to go here to make another line, see if it'll break out of that line, and then I drew another line from here to here. My fib lines are just from this low to this recent move, so it's just this range, but I want to see if it's going to break. And it's not quite much of a reaction from Bitfinex. The first initial move up is higher, and the second move up is a little bit lower. As you can see, it did not reach anything above here at all. It just kind of stopped around here. This fib line is pulling back. But the fact that it's broken above it and then tried to break above it and pull back, it's on a short term really good sign. So I'm putting in my lines here and see if it breaks. I want to see if it breaks above this. That'd probably be my buying signal, because I've already been buying throughout this whole process when it gets close to 300 and up. So just by just trading alone, peer-to-peer trading and everything. So but I'm not going to quite take my longs just yet, or add on to my long positions, because it's kind of critical that it breaks above this, and of course on the other Bitfinex, that it also breaks above this particular fib line, the longer term fib line. So anyways, that's kind of what's happened. So it did break out. If you did want to take a, if you did see that and you want to take a long position, short-term gain, but I don't think this is the this may be the beginning, but it's not confirmed, is my point. So it has to definitely move up higher. What was the range? 343.32, yeah. 343.32 is where it really has to finish above. You can see right there it says 343.32. Anyways, so that's kind of what has to happen for me to make any more long positions. Now, if you look at the chart, it looks kind of big, but it's really not. It's because I zoomed in and I scrolled the chart over to the left to make it proportional to the candlesticks. That's what it does. So, anyways, let me get into some of my crazier ideas and crazy theories. I did notice that this particular price right around here. Sorry about that. I accidentally pushed the button here. So this particular drop off is obviously after the Paris attacks, and there was some mention that somehow Bitcoins are related to it, and you can see it's just started to sell off. But after that initial report, I don't think how true. I don't think it was. I don't know how true that is, or if it's really that relevant. I think people also failed to recognize that you know, U.S. dollars are used around the world outside of America as currency. So, anyways, it was a drop off, but it wasn't a very dramatic drop off. It wasn't like, the smoking gun that all of a sudden every terrorist and their mother in the whole world are using bitcoins to fund their operation. So I think it was just initial reaction, and then after some movement in price, it just came right back, and then some. So, price action. There are things that cause price movement, and they are events that happen in real time that I think are more psychological than anything directly related to the actual asset, or in this case, Bitcoin. Um, it's it's just kind of weird. Just my opinion. It's some propaganda, probably a lot of propaganda, but you know, I don't know how. I don't know how that really makes a difference in the price of Bitcoin, because there's nothing stopping from anyone using Bitcoin in the way they want to use Bitcoin. So, um, anyways, this is my crazy theory part. I have a couple ideas that are kind of really unique and interesting to Bitcoin. One of them is, can well, first of all, I do have an idea for some kind of website platform. It's kind of interesting, a little different. I would call it the last person standing kind of platform. And one of the things you can do with Bitcoin and some of these newer wallets that have contracts, or you can build in, or you could program the release of Bitcoin, is something that I would call the last person standing. Um, Whether you know it or not, you're kind of playing that game right now by de facto. Um, the last person that's left standing wins. It's kind of simple. The name says it all. Anyways, I've heard about this prediction market called Augur. I think that's a very interesting idea. I don't know how it works. I haven't even tried it, but I've heard about it, and it's gotten a lot of fundraising, crowdfunding, and everything. Um, I think there's plenty of creative ideas in which you can use Bitcoin, and I don't know if it's creative. I think it's more crazy, but it can be done. Is a scenario called last person standing, where some of these wallets and people who want to participate, you can participate on a weekly term, monthly term, yearly term, 10-year, 20. Ideally, this is a longer term kind of platform. It's almost similar to life insurance, but obviously it's not regulated. But basically, the last person standing is, I guess you could call it a game, and it's an interesting game. It's basically the last person standing wins. It's somewhat that concept. Basically, you fund a wallet that's been programmed to have a number of participants, and I don't know how often you would have to put in, how many Bitcoin's worth or whatever, but basically what happens is you put into this wallet, and by program the wallet pays out automatically, and it works longer term because you would have the idea is to get people to save Bitcoin, but it does it in a very interesting, and I guess you could say somewhat fun way. It puts a lot more interest into holding your Bitcoin, because there's a chance you could well, you could forfeit your bitcoins by no longer participating. So you put it into it, the time you no longer participate in doing it, and basically that's by not putting more bitcoins into it on a yearly or whatever 10-year or whatever. I would say on longer term yearly. Then you forfeit those bitcoins and you don't get any more distributions out of it. It's also a little risky. In fact, that there might be someone who might attack you to make sure you don't ever get your bitcoins out of it. But considering that it would be anonymous, that there wouldn't be a way to really tie an identity to a particular address key or where it came from. So um, it's the downside of being tracked down and being killed is kind of low. But the point is, it's to basically the last person standing is rewarded, but it does pay out. There's a program where you probably program the contract or the wallet or whatever to pay out by how many numbers of people after a certain amount of years to kind of keep it going, to kind of reward the people who are sticking to it. So that's one concept, and I think in some ways it could replace a lot of these annuities. Um, in some ways, it could also replace life insurance. In some ways, not always, but definitely replace some of these annuities, these concepts of what an annuity is. The only difference is if you no longer participate for whatever reason, you forfeit those coins. So it is a little bit different. It's not a life insurance policy. It's a living policy. It's for you to make sure you stay alive in order to benefit from it. So a little bit different. We're not expecting anyone to die and get rewarded. We're expecting people to be still alive. So that's one little thing I was thinking about. Crazy idea. Maybe I'll implement it. Maybe I won't. Maybe somebody else will. But those are some of the crazy things you can do with Bitcoin. Is that kind of scenario? This idea of last person standing. The other thing I want to talk about, and this does have to do with some of the recent events that happened, is could you use a programmable contract to initiate an attack, a physical attack, like similar to what happened in Paris. And it's possible, it's doable. I'm not sure if some of these ISIS people would really do this for Bitcoin. I'm not sure they're really doing it for Bitcoin, but you can create an event, or you can create something to happen on a certain event, and you can actually tie it to the price of Bitcoin. So, example, you set up a wallet, you have it programmed, or you have it set up where it releases when you have X amount of parties confirming something happened at a particular event, right? And it's almost similar to like bounty. You put a bounty up there, and you just fund the wallet, and the conditions of release of Bitcoins is you have to the person who wants to collect on this quote-unquote bounty, you could say it's kind of like a bounty, so it's nothing new. But if you put it in the perspective of terrorism, and it seems more complicated for terrorists to do this, so that's why I don't think it will happen. But is it possible? Yes. It's similar to a bounty where you just fund the Bitcoins, and depending on the price, let's say you've been funding it in the $200 range, and it wasn't worth a lot until the price moved up to 500, and all of a sudden this bounty is worth a lot, and someone will try to accept whatever bounty that is. and they have to state what's going to happen, and then you got your contract made up, you know, or the contract's always out there. It's just who's going to get the payout. So, is it possible to commit acts of terror using Bitcoin? It's possible, but I just don't see it. You know, it's just not convincing enough um, to have that kind of scenario set up. It's possible, but I think the randomness, and it's just too random and too. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. If you really want to do it that way, someone could do it that way. I think more realistically, how it would be used would be, um, you know, you would put a contract to have work done. All right, now let's just get the terrorist thing out of your mind, and let's just think like normal people do, which most of the time doesn't, you know, doesn't. Most of the time, it's not about killing other people, right? So, but basically, you put a contract to have work done, and you could just keep funding this Bitcoin contract. And what's nice is the way the Bitcoin price has been moving. You could have been funding this contract for, like, let's say $200 one Bitcoin when it was $200. And obviously no one wants to do it for $200 because it's too cheap, too low. But you know, it's one of those things where you could have a contract put out there, and if anybody accepts it, then the work can be done. So there's other applications where you can use this. Okay. The interesting thing about this is if it's not time sensitive, if it's something that can just be done at any time, what you can experience is that when the price went up to 500, I'm sure doing the work for 500 was more attractive than doing the work for $200 in Bitcoin, worth in Bitcoin. So anyways, after the price goes, you know, you could fund the wallet or you fund the contract, and you're just waiting for someone to take on the work. What's nice is if the price goes up, probably more people are going to be willing to take the work. The price goes down, no one's going to be willing to take the work, and you may have to fund a little bit more of it at a lower, you know, buying lower Bitcoins at a lower price. And as soon as the price starts rising enough, you know, that price demand meets service demand, then you'll have a contract made. And it's a way to do some price discovery. It's a way to put out, if it's non-sensitive, non-time sensitive, you know, work that needs to be done. It's a way to put out some good contracts for Bitcoin work. So there is that idea out there. To say that terrorists are using it like that, I think it's a little bit of a far stretch. I don't think terrorists are hardcore Bitcoiners to the point where they would take the Bitcoin. They'd probably convert the Bitcoin to some local currency or trade it off for something else. I don't know. But for some people who are more interested in getting the Bitcoin than the money, you know, you would get a lot of work at lower prices, because doing the work at a lower price, you know, it could work the other way as well. If someone's really interested in getting more Bitcoins at a lower price, that might be an option. You would just have to wait until they could fund enough Bitcoins, or wait for the price to go up. Really, you want to do is you want to get Bitcoins at a lower price. But anyways, those are some of the crazy ideas that I have. I think they're both possible. They're both kind of extreme, these ideas. Um, but can it be done with Bitcoin? Yes. Yes, anything can be done. Just about anything can be done with the use of Bitcoin, and some of the wallets that are coming out, and some of the other type of wallets that use Bitcoin to program, contracts and everything. Those will definitely, um, those are definitely possible. So you'll probably see more and more of that in the future. Sorry, my computer is dying. The power went out. So anyways, so the price is pretty much frozen right there. Wonderful. Anyways, let me cut out here since the power is going out, and I'll cut in later. But for the most part, there is a good chance that the price can break up. And I don't think the whole Bitcoin to ISIS connection is a big factor because of this dip in price. Okay, well, the dip in price and the price going right back up. So anyways, let me cut out and I'll cut back in later. Hello everyone, I'm cutting back in. The power eventually came back on, but anyways, I'm noticing a little movement up here from this fib line, and I'm on Bitfinex as the current price, and 1 hour Bitfinex. So this may have potential. I didn't do any positions here because I'm already long. I've already made some trades. This particular one right here. Other than that, I am just literally just waiting for this to for the price to move above this, and then there's going to be a little bit of bouncing here. Depending on what it does, I'll probably take another position right up here and see what happens. And so it looks like it's kind of moving back up, but there's another, I wouldn't say issue, but if you look on the 12-hour, hopefully you can see it a little better. Not really. Not a whole lot. Not any better, but let me see here. Is it the 1 hour? No, not the 1 hour. So anyway, the price is starting to push up higher. Let's see where this goes, because if it does push up higher, this is probably the break, or the bounce, or the rebound, or whatever you want to call it, the retraction from going down, starting to begin here. Let me check the Chinese exchange really quick here and see what they're doing. Alright, so they're starting to kind of move a little bit as well, and this is a different setup, but basically they've been here at this fib line after pushing up higher and staying above it. They're making a move as well, so let's see how far it goes. It may hit up here, or it could blast right through and just hit up. So looks like something's happening. Just got to get back to it. We'll see how time goes. Anyways, let me cut out, and then I'll cut back in. By the way, this is a Hobu 1 hour, and that's the price right now. I'm just looking at a different chart here. So anyway, let me cut out and I'll cut back in. Alright, I'm cutting back in, and I'm on Bitstamp now, and one of the reasons is the prices have almost pretty much parred up all across the board, and so I made some lines and some fib lines and everything, and this is the only chart that shows some price resistance right here. All my other ones kind of, well, they kind of show others that's passed by it, like this one on the Chinese exchange. It just moved right by it. Nothing's happened. What's this one? This is BitC, same thing. It's just nothing's happened. Been staying above this fib line. And this is Bitstamp. I'm sorry, not Bitstamp. This is Bitfinex. This shows breaking down, so I'll showing a little bit different. I'm sure if I redrew another line that it would make more sense. It would be just drawing out, but anyways, let me go back and do this over again. That's Bitfinex. This was Bitsy right here. See if it does any price movement. Slow. You know, Bitsy doesn't get a lot of price action sometimes. And then Chinese exchange always gets a lot of action, but not doing anything. And this is Bitstamp. The unusual part is the long wick on this candle that when I draw my lines out, it's just going over it. So anyways, the price went sideways and then it reacted to this particular line on Bitstamp going down. I'm actually still waiting for it to go above this fib line. So I drew the fib lines out just like I did on Bitfinex, and I'm just waiting for this. You can see it hit several times close. So I'm waiting for it to hit above it and finish, and then I'm considering buying back with some of my gain money and trying to take advantage of this move up. So both times these wicks here have reached at least around 250. So moving up to 250 wouldn't be out of range, but right now we see it's just going down in price right now. So anyways, we'll see what happens. If it goes down, I like to see where it goes, or if it's just going to go down just to shoot straight up again. I'll cut out and I'll cut back in later. Hey, good morning everyone. This is a cut in. So I've been watching Bitstamp on a 1 hour, and I got my long-term fib lines and I got my short-term fib lines and stuff. This line is coming from this peak right here all the way to the 500 point or whatever it is, the recent high, and it comes down here and it's been making this resistant line, and it's kind of been following it from here going down, and this is what I've been waiting for, and it seems to be reacting to it. Now it looks like it might be breaking through. This is what I'm going to watch for. It still has to go up to the 340s for me to really add on to my position. So far I am just holding, and I'm just waiting for this to break up or break down, and so that's what's happening so far. Out of all the chart, Bitstamp right here, Bitstamp seems to be I guess either holding everything back or it's going to be the pace setter. We'll see. I'm waiting for it. It could draw out to be sideways for a very long time. That's kind of what it's been doing. Like it's really been sticking around this whole range here, as you can see. And I'll take a quick look at some of the other charts. You see some another analysis showing that it's kind of already broken out. This is a Hobu on a 1 hour, and I'm just waiting for this to push up higher and a little bit beyond. There's no longer term fib line here. It's just short-term fib lines. This one as well, Bitsy. I've been looking at Bitsy as well to see if there's any difference. And this is kind of showing the same thing, kind of going like this, and then It's kind of breaking out, but being supported right around this line here. I like to see it get up here a little bit more, and then Bitfinex, which looks like recently it's had a jump here. This must have been, that just must have happened because it's 706, so that must have turned over to the new candlestick pushing up higher. So looks like, and I redrew this line representing this kind of push downwards. This is a Bitfinex 1 hour. There's the current price. So this is just jumped. It just turned 7 a.m. in Houston, so it's just jumped right now, and we'll see if we get any price action. There's the two lines. One's both of them. They're fib lines. One's a short term, one's a long term. So it has to push up at least up to this high, and then some, and then I'll add on to my position on a long position. So I'll cut out and I'll cut back in. Hey, good morning everyone. This is cutting back in here, and it looked like it could not reach the mark. This is on a Bitfin 1 hour. There's the current price right now. Just happened a couple hours in the morning. It's about 9 o'clock, a little bit after 9, but anyways, I woke up this morning. I didn't check the charts because when you trade long term, you don't really worry about short term stuff too much unless you're trading for short term stuff. But anyways, it could not go to what is it? I got a couple fib lines within fib lines here. I think it was 343.32 that it could not break. This top line, there's two lines here because I put two fib lines within each other. But in any case, and I redrew the shorter term fib line. I think it was from back here to here. Now it's from here to here, and the lines somewhat they definitely match up to this right here, where the price kind of stopped. But anyways, I guess a couple reasons for this price movement down, and you have to realize it's moved about I would say $10. So we're looking at a range here where the average movement in price, daily average movement in price, is getting smaller and smaller. And on top of that, the price seems to be flat around between 300 and 340. So there's your range. It's a $40 range, which is it's pretty decent if you're trading. You can definitely make a gain in trading and mitigate some of your losses, I guess. So, but anyways, let me get back to this particular thing. I don't know what's going on this morning. The only thing I have that I think, well, there's two things: that it could not go above this 240 area. That could be one reason why it started to look like it was going to, and then it cut out and just just kind of went up and then went sideways for a while, and then something happened this morning. So it's 9, 8, 7, 6. So probably Europe time, because it's 6 o'clock, which means it would be 5 o'clock in New York time, Eastern Standard Time, which would have been probably about afternoon in Europe, a little bit after afternoon in Europe, probably a little bit in the morning, a little bit noon around UK time or something like that. I'm not sure what the big difference in time is, but I would say somewhere around there. So So this time frame right here is a European time frame, is what I'm trying to say. And I think there was some news that came out of European Union, you know, looking into unregulated money transfers, like what was it? It was gift cards. Let's see, what on earth was it? I'm gonna look it up right now. What were they? What was their big thing? It was like gift cards and alright. European Union cracks down on Bitcoin after Paris attacks. That was the headline. And let me see. They're gonna crack down on apparently gift cards. Basically any, I guess you could say, stored devices. If you know what stored devices are in finance, it's anything that's not considered, legal tender, but you can store value on it. Typically those things are, some of them are regulated, some of them are not regulated. Apparently gift cards are not really regulated. I guess you could be anonymous. You could buy them and give it to someone else, and then someone else can use it. Ironically, that's what a gift card is used for. And they also mentioned virtual currencies. Let me see what I'm trying to see what they're. I'm looking at my smartphone, my other smartphone, and looking at what they're trying to. Okay, so they're trying to strengthen controls of non-banking payment methods such as electronic anonymous payments and virtual currencies, and transfers of gold, precious metals by prepaid cards. Anyways, I haven't really looked at the draft yet in any detail. I just looked at the headlines, and from what I can tell, that might be a news. A lot of Bitcoin traders use gift cards to trade Bitcoins with. Precious metals or anything related to precious metals. Often Bitcoins are traded for like digital gold or digital silver or something that represents silver and gold. Let me see what else. Yeah, it's ironic that all the things that the European Commission is looking into also happens to be the same stuff that people who use Bitcoin use. But they're not they're not targeting Bitcoiners, obviously. They're targeting terrorists, not Bitcoiners. So, but I just find it ironic that these are the same things that someone who uses Bitcoin would also use: gift cards, precious metals, anonymous electronic payment methods, virtual currencies. Seems just kind of coincidental, and there's been some reports of that the whole Bitcoin being used by ISIS was not true. I never thought it was. I just think it's just too much effort for a terrorist organization to go through to send money or to use money for themselves. Because the problem with using something like Bitcoin is it's kind of anonymous, but the problem is if you know the wallet, you can kind of get an idea what's going to happen based on the movement of Bitcoin. If you know the wallet, so you can keep track, because remember, this is a public ledger, which means everyone can see. If all of a sudden I have $3 bazillion, doesn't matter. It's kind of like, Satoshi Nakamoto. He has like whatever. I don't know how many Bitcoins that's in that particular wallet that everyone's watching every day to see if it gets moved. It's kind of like that. I mean, why would an organization, especially a terrorist organization, use something that is so public that if you did anything with your Bitcoins, it would give up your hand? and especially if you, the report is basically that it's been a known wallet address of Islamic terrorist of ISIS, and they've been watching it. The weird thing is if they've been watching it, then they must have gotten some idea. Somebody must have known something before the attacks, because there must have been some movement of funds happening, which was kind of, you know, an early warning signal. So my conclusion is, you know, if they did use it, they did use it, but they used it to transfer money, which ironically would have been, if there's, I don't know, what do they call themselves? GhostSec or Ghost Security or whatever anonymous hacking group is going after ISIS. You know, if you're looking at their wallets, and if that it really is the wallet that's being used by ISIS, you should have known something by the movement in Bitcoin. All right, something should have been up, like addresses being, Bitcoin's being sent to whatever addresses, Bitcoin's being moved around, other than, you know, coin mixing, I guess. You know, that would have been a first clue. So the fact that I think that somehow this particular wallet was being used by ISIS and all that, that might be true, but it doesn't. I don't think it's going to curb terrorist attacks. My honest opinion about this whole terrorist attack, since 2000, because I've been alive since 2000, and it's 2015, so 15 years has gone by since the year 2000, and if anything, it's increased. You know, it's increased. So the major attack in New York, then there was another one in UK, and then there was another one. There were several. I think there was one in Spain. Now there's one in France, and these are, of course, over a 15-year period. And I want to make a note. I want to go on record and say on video that I find it interesting that Paris was the target, specifically France, because I don't know if anyone remembers this, but I think when the U.S. was attacking Iraq, everybody, all over the world, people were going along with this. Well, most people were going along with it. All the NATO countries were going along with it and everything. People were backing this. You know, people were saying, "Okay, let's do it. We'll support you. We'll send some troops." Everybody except France. And does anybody remember that? Anyways, I think it's just kind of weird that, and I don't know if anybody remembers. Remember, it was so, the fact that France didn't want to support any invasion of Iraq. It was such a shock to everyone, and everyone was so angry about it. Here in America, they started calling French fries American fries. I mean, it got really ridiculous. There was commercials. Okay, fast food chain made a commercial about being a chicken and then being French at that time. I mean, that was kind of crazy, and I just find it ironic now that that Paris is now the target of a terrorist attack, and they're going to be, you know, drawn into this war and war of terror. It just, you know, things tend to repeat itself. Anyways, let's go back to the chart. I just want to bring that up because I think it's just kind of weird that they were against it. Now they're being attacked for it, and all of a sudden now they're given a lot of power to answer or to retaliate. But who do you retaliate against? all the people involved in those attacks are pretty much going to get caught or get killed. I also read another report where apparently the terrorists themselves, there's no evidence of any encryption used, like any encrypted messages or any encrypted, um, you know, anything. Um, they simply just use the network at hand, you know, Telefrance or whatever major phone companies there. So it just sounds like, um, it just sounds propagandish. And after a while, when you grow up and you live for a while and you see all the propaganda going on, um, it just kind of gets old, you know. Anyways, let's go back to the chart. Sorry for this longer cut in here, but I think that is the reason why you're seeing a price drop. That's the second reason why. Another reason is that it could not advance upwards to the 240. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to be dropping, because if you look at this, you'll see that the terror attacks happened. First mentioned of Bitcoin being used by ISIS. You see, this is the price drop, and I really believe this is a reaction to it, because on that day this price dropped. I actually woke up earlier in the morning to check on the price, and it was just right about here. Went back to sleep. The price dropped, and I woke up and probably around this time, and noticed the price drop. And I looked at the news again, and the first thing I see was Bitcoin wallet being tied to ISIS, and I knew that wasn't real, because, or if it was, it wasn't a big deal, because it would have dropped a lot further. Because if there was solid, concrete evidence, I think a lot of people would be more fearful. Even Bitcoin users would be a little fearful of using Bitcoin, because they know that anybody associated using Bitcoin would be tied to being a terrorist, would become a target. But obviously, I think a lot of people wised up to it. Price went up, price went up again, and then it just, as time unfolded, things started coming out, reports started coming out, and then all of a sudden, the European Commission wants to have more control over, what do they call it? Strengthen controls of non-banking payment methods, such as electronic anonymous payments and virtual currencies, and transfers of gold, precious metals, and prepaid cards, or man, they're overreaching a lot. I mean, it's bad enough to regulate the banks, and nobody wants to use the banks, so they started using Bitcoin, and now people are using more Bitcoin. They want to strengthen their control over that. Just kind of weird. Anyways, my personal opinion is that it's hard to control something. It's hard to control. I guess if you're used to controlling the masses of people through media, um, social engineering, financial, controlling the economy is a way of controlling the masses. So controlling interest rates and making economic policy and all that. But when you start having something you can't control, it gets very scary. Especially something that you've had control for such a long time. I could see the initial reaction being, we need to observe, surveillance, and watch all this stuff. I could tell they're not going to find. I could tell you something. They're not going to find anything. And my belief is that over time, these attacks are going to occur more frequently. Okay. That's my personal belief, because that's what I'm seeing over time. Since 2000, I'm seeing more and more frequent attacks, and in places where you don't get these kind of attacks, like you know, in outside of the Middle East, outside of places where you would consider this to be the normal, like where you have unstabilized countries, in civil unrest. You're going to see this more and more in developed countries. You're going to see this throughout Europe. You're going to see this in Canada. You're going to see this in the U.S. You're going to see this in probably, if not already, in South America. You'll probably see this in Asia, but not. I don't think as much. I think the whole world doesn't view Asia, China and these other Asian countries as a threat. So I think countries in Asia will not get attacked as much, but definitely Russia. Even Russia has faced terrorist attacks on their own soil. So you're going to see more of that. And again, you're going to see it in Europe. And ironically, they're not going to be people from outside attacking. It's not going to be an invasion. It's going to be from within. You're going to probably see a lot of racial profiling, religious profiling, ethnic profiling. You're going to see a lot of that, especially with groups of people who are really far away from where they're from. So obviously Europe is not that close to the Middle East, but you're going to see that intensify in Europe and the UK. You're going to see that intensify in the US. You're going to see that intensify in Canada. South America is just an open ground. You can even say that some people in South America almost look like Middle Eastern. There's always been a rumor that that's kind of how they've been getting into the U.S. is through South America. I mean, this is going to open up such a can of worms. I'm not going to try to get into it too much, but anyways, let me cut out because I'm still going to wait for this price to kind of rebound. Obviously, it did not go above, so unfortunately, I did take a position only because I had to go get some more Bitcoins from my miner, so I was forced into a position, kinda. I did sell at I bought in kind of in the low 330s, but I sold at this fib line. It did go up higher, but I'm really waiting for up here to move. And during the day I also was trading coins, so I didn't have to, buy any coins from any exchanges or go into my own little coin stash because I already bought coins from my miner, sold off from there at whatever striking price. I still have a little bit left over, but as you notice, the price does not move too much, so it doesn't make a big difference. So anyways, let me cut out and we'll see how it goes, because I think this is going to rebound just like these other times after some other news comes out that this is going to be totally debunked. We'll see. Alright everyone, I'm cutting back in, and I'm doing some intraday trading here, speculation. So it didn't go, it went down. I put a line in here to see what kind of resistance there is, and as soon as it went down, it hit up and it did react to it, and then went straight down. And I had some limit orders here at 23.2088, and that was a buyback from a previous short that I made. So from, let me see here, basically I sold some Bitcoins and I waited with a limit order down here. That's pretty much what I did. Not everything, but just something to speculate. And now it's going up. It did hit down to, let me see, 318.54. Anyways, it's gone up now, and what I've done now is I'm going to play this fib line. I'm going to put in a small little order, and let me see here. This is on Bitfinex, 1 hour, and this is where it becomes fun speculating. It's almost like watching sports. Anyways, here's a Bitfinex. I'm a Bitcoin Wisdom, and let me see where, maybe you can actually see it. There it is, 320.80, 88, that 0.1. That's my little order, and I'm going to play on that line when it dips down into it. So I was hitting my order, and then I'll see if it goes up again, and if it goes up again, I'll put another little limit order in there and see how many times it just hits there. I'm anticipating that it's gonna, because this is a support line right here, a little bit longer, so that's why it's going sideways for such a long time. I'm figuring. So let's see what happens. I think there's going to be something happening over the holiday weekend, and you know, that'd be a good time to really move prices. Holiday weekend, not a lot of people trading. It's really thin. You could put a massive market order in and move that price, depending on who's all there, right? Who's all trading. So anyways, now I'm just speculating, and I'm watching this thing move up and down, getting closer to my, there's that 0.1 right there, 320.88, and it's just watching now. I'm just speculating, and I'll keep that spot going for a little while and see if it ranges down a little bit lower. I'll let it hit. If it goes down, then I'll let it go down, and then maybe I'll play off of this line. But I think it's, or this trend line right here, but I think I'm gonna give this a shot. I've never done this before, but I figured, why not? You got some Bitcoins to speculate with. We could speculate a little bit and pick up a few more Bitcoins. It doesn't really help you overall if the price goes down, if you got a lot of Bitcoins, but if you're trying to get more Bitcoins, it's getting really close. I think it hit. Nope, I'm still right there, close. Anyways, it's a little fun to watch. So anyways, I'm gonna keep track of this. Let's see how far it goes. I got rid of the other charts. Finally got some price action. A lot of things were looking like it was gonna go up, but it never hit above this 343 or something. Never went above it, so of course it was going to go down. So I want to meet another line, and it did react to it on an hourly basis. So let's see what happens if it breaks out. I'm hoping it can go back up, because it just looks like it's just ranging here for a very long time. So anyways, let me cut out and I'll cut back in. Alright everyone, I'm cutting back in, and it dropped further down, and so it was up, and then I put my stop in, put my market order right in here, and then let it go down again. And the reason I'm doing 0.1 Bitcoin is because this probably, a lot of times this may not be right, but it is reacting to it right there. I don't know if it can hold. If that can hold, then the chances of it moving back up are far better as time goes on, because that's kind of where I have my stop. There's also another support trend line that I drew up at 300, so it's not that far from 300, so there's another chance. So as it goes down, if I'm not right on my market order, that's why I average cost it going down to a 0.1. But if I'm right, let me see here. There it is. Oh, there it goes. It busts right through. It just busted right through. I had a little tiny little bit just right below that. So as it makes a new low, there it is. Look at that. It's touching 315 now. So there's the fib line. 315. Let's see what it does. Wow, you're catching it just in time. Oh man. Anyways, bounce right back. It's playing around. So it's playing around 315. Alright, so let's see if it holds at 315 or what happens. I'm going to put another tiny one at 315 too. So let me see what happens. Let me see, the low is 315, so I'm going to put another tiny little market order for 0.1. Just Bitcoins, just play it out and just see what happens to it. If it keeps going down, for me, I just buy little bits at a time because I already sold my Bitcoins. I met with my miner earlier, and I think right around here I put a little market order to sell up here, and so I already sold some of my Bitcoins here. And then as I was doing peer-to-peer trades, I didn't buy back in. I waited just a little bit, and now I'm buying back in at a lower price. So these are more Bitcoins for me. So it depends how you play it. Let me see, it's at 315 almost. If you're coming in to make money, it's a different strategy. If you're coming, it did break 315. Look at that. That's made another low right there. All right. So so I'm just gonna make another low off of that. Oh, it's breaking through. It's breaking through. Let's see if it's gonna go down to 300. So this changes everything. It's breaking through. So all right. So I wonder if there's something happening here. I'm gonna see on the prices here what's going on. Delayed pricing, Bitsy and Bits. These are really close in price. Really close in price. Maybe a chance to arbitrage to Bitsy if there is anything over there. Yeah, it's going. It's going. All right, so it's time to pull back a little bit. See what's going on here. All right. So there is another possible. So it's breaking down here, this longer term, which it's breaking down, and it's gonna. There's another one right here at 300. So, all right. So there's another. So I'm gonna stop buying because it broke, and I'm gonna try again at 300, just a little bits. It probably will bounce back, but it's going further. It's going further down. All right, man, you gotta keep your eye on this thing. Man, you're watching this real time right here. Oh, almost real time. All right, so now that it really broke through, I saved myself 0.1 Bitcoin just by talking on the video here. But I'm gonna put in another. I'll put some market orders right around here as well to see if it's gonna support there or not. I think it's somewhat critical around 300, but um, you know, we've been down there. You've been down that road before, below 300 again. But anyways, I'm gonna see what's going on here, see what happened, and see where it's gonna stop, and if it pulls up, if it bounces up, if there's any opportunity to do any shorting here from my Bitcoins and watch it go back down if it's trending back down. So, well, live action. Anyways, let me cut out and let me see what happens. Right now, I'm not going to take any more because it broke through, and I'm going to wait for it to come down here closer before making some market orders or put some limit orders right here now. So let me cut out, let some more time go through. Alright, I'm cutting back in, and I pulled back to the 12 hour on Bitfinex, and you can see all the other prices relative to each other. And yeah, it's going down, and so I pulled back to the 12 hour, so I got the larger fib lines. This line that it broke through, so I said, alright, there's another line that goes way back, and happens to go right around 300 back to this fib line. So let's see what happens there. It's a longer term, it's a 12-hour term time frame, so this takes a lot longer. We're gonna have to wait for this one to see what happens. Anyways, my trades didn't work out, but that's alright. There were buybacks from other selling that I've already done. When you have Bitcoin and someone offers to buy them, the nice thing is you can, it gives you, once you sell it, it gives you the option to either put in a market order at a lower price and just wait and see if it falls, or you know, you could just take the money, right? And so every once in a while, when the price goes down, that I use that as an opportunity to buy back the Bitcoins that I just sold. I'm buying back at a cheaper price, actually. So you know, not only did you make the money on the sale of your Bitcoins, but then you also made it back on buying back at a cheaper price as well. So that's how I also play it when the price breaks down. But I'll put in. I'm gonna see how it goes. But looks like 300 is gonna be support. Who knows? It may just break through, then pull right back up. It's really been hitting this. This fib line's been real resistance, but then again, there's been some level of support here. We're going to be testing that support pretty soon. We'll see what happens. I haven't seen any pull up yet. I'm expecting some kind of pull up, and then it go back down, or maybe it needs to pull back down and then push up higher. Who knows? Anyways, let me cut out, and we'll see what happens. Hello everyone, I'm cutting back in, and so far we had a massive, looked like a massive sell-off, but it's really not. I've been looking at the 1 hour too long. This is 1 hour on Bitfinex, and here's the current price. It did bounce back to this area right here. I did go far as down as 309. Only the bounce back. I think this resistant line is. Let me back out here. Okay, so we got a larger term fib lines going on. That's the 500, and I've been using that line from here to kind of gauge, you know, all the different possible points that it could break out. All the time it never reacted. Even though I put a line here, it would not react. As you see, it just sideways, and then put a line down here, it broke up, and then sideways. Put a line up here as it could not as I zoom in, as it could not break out, go, it couldn't break out and continue up, so it fell back down and slightly went up and then started going down, and that's when I put my lines through here, and as you see, it's reacting to it. I haven't changed it. It's reacting to it, although this is probably reacting to also the average here. It's reacting to it, but so that's three places here. One, two, three places where it's actually reacted to the trend line right here. This trend line, it didn't react so much. It looked like it was at the beginning, then it broke through. My fib line is the shorter term fib line. I had to go back from down here to up here, which is basically within this longer term fib line, and so that's where I got the stop right here. Zoom in, and so I guess this is still in play. It's just that when I was doing it, I did my fib lines from here to here and was anticipating this to be a support, which it kind of was. My concern was that once it breaks this, I was wondering if it would go down further up to 300. It almost did. I was waiting for this to get closer to 300, but I guess it never went. Now we're going to have to see what it's going to do now. It's back up to 322, which I had at several right about here at 320.88. As you can tell now, it's a little different. This is set up as 317.81. Anyways, I had some at 317 as well. Kind of had several, and once it went below that, I stopped. Maybe I should have continued to buy some, but I wanted to really wait until it got to 300. Anyways, it's bounced back up, and now I want to see if see if it now it's gonna break out of this. And I think once it does that, and like I said, Thanksgiving is coming up, and the holiday time is usually you know, this is Bitcoin, so it trades all the time. Now that I know that this is really a solid trend line, resistance is finally hit up against the resistance, instead of breaking, kind of going sideways for a long time and meandering. I think this is a good solid line, and I'm going to see and wait to see if a breakout of this line, and let's see how it reacts to that price and where the support is going to be. So we'll see how it goes, and after a while I guess I'll do my last cut in, and I'll go ahead and post a video. But I'm anticipating, and of course I'm always anticipating the price to go up. Why wouldn't I? Let's have a look at some of the prices here. It's 322, 320, $2 spread on the other exchange in Bitsy. This is another $2 spread. So this at one point was about 320. All of them were pretty close to 320. None of them really flipped over where it was Bitsy was higher. At least I just woke up, so I couldn't tell from what happened from down here to up here. So anyways, let's see what happens, because there's a lot of things going on that you know, there's a lot of things going on that are in the mix here. There is a possibility to break out one more time, but it does have to break above this 332.32. I'm sorry, 343.32. It does have to break above that. I don't think there's any question about it. So we'll see how it goes. It's gonna have to break out of the. If it goes up higher than that fib line, then I think there's a pretty good chance of going back up. But until that happens, it's just ranging up and down. So I guess for people who are trading, what does it mean? It means that you can probably range trade if you know how to range trade. Matter of fact, I already bought some around here at this level. I'm guessing right around this price, this fib line, which has been really popular at hitting. is what, 335, 34. So I guess I'll put a stop in here at 335.34 and see if it does that. And then once it really goes up and above here, then I'll add on to the position. Unfortunately, I did add on to a little bit more position, basically because I sold some Bitcoins and now I'm buying them back. I'm actually bought them back right here, so I'm actually slightly up. Slightly up. Let me see what's the price here. Slightly up. Not by a lot, but enough to be on the positive side again. So there's your different prices. So I'll probably do one more cut in and then I'll put it up and take it from there. So let me cut out. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm cutting back in, and sorry it's been a while, but I have a awful cold and today's Thanksgiving. So anyways, it looks like we had a little Thanksgiving holiday here in Bitcoinia, because the price did go up all the way up to almost 370. What really sucks about this whole thing, it was I was kind of squeezed out of my position down here, actually right around here, I would say. But yeah, this price level, which really sucked because I should have rebought back in. I had a chance to kind of do it, but I got a little too greedy. I was going to wait just a little bit more for the price to go down for me to come in. Now I missed this whole run up, which kind of really sucks. And that's the problem with trading peer-to-peer, is I was in a trade where the buyer has already made a payment and I couldn't get any more Bitcoins, so I had to actually sell my own Bitcoin. And I was thinking the relative low price, which should have been a warning, that when the price moves the slowest is when it breaks out the fastest for some reason. Anyways, I thought I could just hang in there and wait until I could be able to get more coins, and nope, price moved. I didn't get out of my position fully, but I had to get out of my long position, which kind of really sucks. So now I'm gonna have to go back and try to buy in at strategic points to make up for that. It's not a disaster. It just sucks that I had all these coins and I had to sell my coins, and then the price moves up, which happens all the time. It happens the other way too, where you'll sell your coins and then the price dramatically goes down. So I guess in the end it evens out. As long as you make a gain. I'll lose a little bit on the Bitcoin, but if I play my trades right, I could probably get them all back, and still enjoy the price increase. Just gonna have to trade a lot more. So anyways, what I've done here is I'll back out. I'm gonna back out. So okay, so I've gotten rid of the other fib. Let me just go ahead and get rid of that fib line then. Okay, so this is what I originally had anyway. If you all remember from the long term, looks like it did break down a little bit right here, but man, it just moved up really fast. So anyways, once it started breaking out of that above the 340 area, like the specific price right here, 343.32, once it broke out of that, I knew it was gonna go up higher, but I was a little suspicious about going all the way up to 270 or 370, because 374 is about the price where this fib line is, and it reached 370. I think it's gonna just hit there
and maybe come back down and bounce around a little bit because on the hourly, and I'm zooming in on the hourly, this looks this big. Depends what it does. I mean, if it this is really a long wick, and it kind of signals the top of this little run up on an hourly anyway. So it'll be interesting to see if if this price moves up anymore or where it ranges here. And this is where I get my new fib line, which you're gonna have to now because it's broken out, and it's kind of like the last low before it takes off. And as soon as I do that, I get some interesting lines. That's all I can say. Unfortunately, it's always retrospective, unfortunately. But anyways, here you go. You can see kind of where in the past the breakout or the resistance was at this lower end here, and obviously because of the price movement, the scale of the trades are small. This used to be like my whole screen. Now it's like only this. So that's how much the price has moved. 40, I would say 40. It was 20, 50. So 5, 6, 7. So yeah, to 320 to 370. So moved $50 in literally 24 hours. Maybe even more. I'm not even sure if it's a full 24 yet. So I think I think it is. It's full 24 since right about here, since this first pushed up here. I had so many chances to really buy in, but unfortunately, I already have my. You know, one of the things that you have to do when you are in the middle of a trade like that, and eventually you go in, the price moves up, the price moves down, and you have a order limit in your mind where you want to be. Usually, rule of thumb is you stick with your strategy, and it's hard sometimes when you're missing out or when you're losing money. It's hard to stick with that strategy. You probably, I'm probably very tempted right now to buy in, um, just to get back in my position. Um, but it's moved so much. But then again, it's done this before. But I'm a little surprised by how much. When I looked at this, when the first movement in price happened, I was like, wow, okay, there's something going on. I was scared that the price would jump like this, and then it did. But look what happened right here in this big candle, on this particular candlestick with the big red wick. You have a huge amount of trading, both positive and then towards the end negative. So that kind of does set a little bad tone. Um, but then again, it could just be taking a rest, come back down. Like maybe here, I have this here as a critical point because it's part of the larger fib and a part of this smaller fib line that I made. And that's what price is that? 342.96. 342.96. So if it came down 342.96 and bounced up to go higher, that could be a possibility because it's way overbought. But again, it doesn't mean anything. You've seen this before, so let's see how it plays out. The way I'm going to have to play this now that the price moved against me for the most part, is I'm going to have to just stick with it, see if it ranges, and if it never comes back down to the price where I would like to buy back in, I'm going to have to trade my way out of it, which doesn't isn't that bad. I do that anyway. It's just that it would have been nice if I would have been back in my position, but oh well. That's trading for you. Um, I'm not complaining because I didn't lose. I've been trading uh, all the way down, and a majority of 2015 at a very, I would say, below 200 level, 200, 250 to below 200 level. So it's not that bad, and I'm still in a long position. So I did partake in a gain. It just I didn't partake as much as I would have, which kind of sucked. But anyways, that's 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 life of a trader, right? So that's what's going on, and from what I can tell, and I'll go back to the 12 hour again because you really got to pull back to get a sense of how much things have moved sometimes. There we go. So um, this is how much we've moved in that short period of time. Uh, this is a really big bar. It looks like one of these bars now. So the volatility very massive right here, and then it started slowing down, and then you're starting to see another like very big move. Almost seems like it's unreal. Like what's going on? But if you pull back to the larger picture that's been going on, it's been kind of expected. So I don't know if it's going to take a pause here, move around, and then because I'm assuming that this is going to be the new resistance line now. This is kind of what I've been waiting for, a push up high to see how far it would go, and then come back down with the resistance line. And so it's going to probably be tested, maybe go down and up, and we'll see how it goes. But on 12 hour, that's kind of what I'm seeing, and so I'm still gonna have my limit orders here, but at the same time, I'm still gonna be trading. So if I can't ever hit my limit orders, I'll just be trading to get back all the bitcoins that I traded away. So, anyways, who knows? I may just go ahead and just buy in because if I see a breakout signal, there's no point in waiting for the price to go down because it just won't go down. It'll just be going up from there, and so sometimes you just got to say, hey, let's just buy in before it gets any higher. Um, you know. Anyways, I hope this helped. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out by the time you see it, but at least you know this overall picture kind of gives you a better idea, maybe some way to um, see where the price is going to go down or up here based on maybe this resistance, because it's kind of been doing I've been doing that here, and it kind of works and it breaks out, kind of works and breaks out, but this is the move you want to see on the 12 hours like this, and then from there on you can tell whether this is going to be a breaking out point or this is going to be the resistance. So anyways, uh, this concludes this whole episode here. So if you feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment or a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.